One of my followers, Brianna, wanted a cake for her 25th birthday, and I was excited to see that she wanted it ordered from Cold Stone. She wanted some fluffy blue frosting, so I mixed that up for her and I plopped it on top, and then I began to spread it around the cake. Once this is all smoothed off, she asked for chocolate shavings to go around the side. Let's all just take a moment and enjoy the sound of these chocolate shavings. I'm going to take the rest of that blue frosting I made and I'm going to line a piping bag with it. Once I coat the piping bag with that, I'm going to push some white frosting in the middle. This will add a cool effect when I go to pipe it onto the cake later. I'm going to pipe out a border that looks similar to waves just so it's more fun. I'm going to do that to the bottom and the top. Then she asked for cookie dough on top. I figured it'd look better for me to crumble it than to chop up pieces. And it's happy 25th birthday, Brianna. Last week, I had a mom of one of my followers call me, and she asked me to make a cake for her daughter, India. So of course I had to go all out and do something cool and extra special for her. It's her 19th birthday, and obviously this year it has to look different because of COVID. So we wanted to do something special for her. They wanted cheesecake and strawberry ice cream mixed together with graham cracker and then yellow cake, and then decorated with strawberry frosting. I got inspired by my TikTok friend, Katie's Canvases, to do something like her fruit and floral series. So thank you, Katie, for your inspiration. The flowers were extremely difficult to get right with our whipped frosting. Happy birthday, India. I hope you like it. Everybody wish India happy birthday. This was another cake that the customer just didn't have a lot of direction that they wanted to go with. So typically when that happens, I try to talk them into something, but if I don't take the order, I can't do that. So then it ends up looking really plain and really basic. So this one is just white frosting with a white frosting border on the bottom and then some strawberries on top. And then I added green leaves to each of the strawberries. Then it was time to write happy birthday, Alan, in red. For those that don't know, this is an ice cream cake. I think on just about every video I've posted about cake since I started, I've been asked this question. And then last night, I had the perfect opportunity to show you the answer. So first, I take all of the toppers off, and then I'm gonna scrape off whatever writing was on top. Once I've done that, I put all the Kit Kats back on top. And then at this point, I would write on it again, but since this order was canceled, I'm just gonna put it back out so that someone else can buy it. A few weeks ago, I had a customer named Coffee come in, and he wanted to order this elaborate 2-tier ice cream cake for his wife's 40th birthday. I commonly do this thing when customers come in with a picture, is I just agree to it and I'll just figure it out later. And that's kind of what I did with this one. With our ice cream cakes and our whipped frosting, it's difficult to do a lot of stuff like this. But I made it work and it actually turned out pretty good. He wanted black and white stripes on the bottom tier and then just a white top tier with flowers all over it. The stripes are the difficult part because our frosting doesn't do well with stuff like that. But it turned out a lot better than I expected. And then I wrote happy 40th birthday Eunice on top in pink. I enjoy doing these 2-tier ice cream cakes because they're just a lot of fun and they're really easy to honestly do. But they're also very unique and different than what I get to do every day. Today is day 16 of working here at Cold Stone, and we're learning how to fill ice cream in the Ghia. You want to go grab the new flavors you need, take out the old pan and then put the new one in, and then take the parchment paper off. Once we have the ice cream out of the Ghia, we're going to go ahead and take our spade and go all the way around the outside and push all the ice cream down. Once all the ice cream's off the side, we're going to pull it down to one side of the pan and get all the ice cream together. Make sure you get every little piece of ice cream. Once all of it's to one side, we're going to flip it over and do it the same thing to the other side. From us doing this, it's going to make it into a giant ball of ice cream. And then we throw that giant ball of ice cream on top, and then we fluff it down in by stabbing it with our spade. And that's how you properly fill the Ghia. You want to make sure you get everything out of the pan. So you want the pan to be nice and clean like this. Let's go get our next flavor. Adriana ordered this cake for her sister's 16th birthday. But they both live in Texas, and I live in Missouri, so how does that make any sense? Adriana knew that her sister would love to have a cake for me because they have an inside joke about my videos. So she contacted one of her friends that lives here in Missouri and me, and we worked it out so that she could drive it all the way to Texas for her 16th birthday. Adriana is truly a creative and smart sister. How far would you go for your sibling's birthday? A Karen story. You all want one, and I think this might be it. This is by far one of the strangest ice cream cakes I've made thus far. Raspberry sorbet with golden flakes, and what we had left of our Boo Batter ice cream with gold flakes and star sprinkles. And we're doing that half and half. Once I've smoothed both of those in the pan, keep them in their halves, it's time to add each half of the cake. The Boo Batter side is getting red velvet, and the raspberry sorbet is getting yellow. Then it's time to wrap that in white frosting. Once we have all of our white frosting on top of the cake, not on my hand, it's time to add some black sprinkles to the side. This cake had a very unique design for it. It's black, white, and gold. And then all they really wanted on top was a 7, which last time I put a 7 on a cake, you guys lost your minds. So tell me what that means, please. Come on, TikTok, please help me figure out what this cake is about and who it's for. You guys always come through because I have a good theory this will become. My name is Dylan LeMay. Many of you know me for making ice cream cakes on TikTok. Well, a few months back, I started a trend of making cakes in reverse, and I called it Rewind Wednesday. But with the craziness of life, I stopped doing it. But today, we have a real life Rewind Wednesday. One of my coworkers bumped this cake on a shelf and it flipped over. The cake was safe, it was all inside the container, but the decorations were destroyed. So I had to scrape off all of the frosting and redo it all. But I think it still turned out good, and it was a fun video for you guys. So happy anniversary to these guys. But next week we might go back to our regular Rewind Wednesdays. Also, fun fact, no one calls me DJ. Many of you really don't seem to know my name. Well, this ice cream isn't actually melted. It's the opposite, it's not frozen yet. Sometimes if you're making lots of cakes, it's just easy to use our fresh ice cream because we make our ice cream fresh every day in each store. It saves you a lot of time of scooping and mixing, but also it makes it taste better because the ice cream is a lot fluffier. We also get our cakes sent in, we don't bake it here. They come in big sheets and then we cut it to size that we need. This leads to the cakes being weirdly shaped sometimes, but it all works and you'll never know the difference. For this cake, she asked me to go crazy with the ganache. And so of course I came through and I did 3 layers of ganache on top. I would pour the ganache on top and then smooth it out with a spatula and then put it in the blast and then let it harden and do it all over again. Once I had 3 layers on, I added chocolate shavings and drizzled even more on top. I hope I answered most of your questions, but I know you guys have more, so please ask away. But I've been holding on to this video for a week. I worked about 8 hours getting everything ready for me to go on vacation. Not only did I have to wrap things up, I also got a lot of orders from you guys, so I had to get those done as well. But as I was getting ready to leave, this sweet lady came in. And it's her niece's 16th birthday today. And what she wanted so much for her birthday was a cake from me. And so I was definitely not going to say no to that. So I stayed a little bit later and made this cake for her birthday. Abby, you better give your aunt a big hug because not only did she order this cake for you, but she also drove it 3 hours for you. So happy 16th birthday, Abby. I hope you have a great day, and it was a pleasure to make you this really fun cupcake cake. I'm so glad I got to make this for you, and that's why. I remember just like it was yesterday, my friend Dan teaching me how to decorate cakes. It's crazy because I was only 15. That was almost 9 years ago. But I remember clear as day him always saying, when you make a rosette, it's just like writing an O. You stop where you started, and you don't go to the middle. And now I teach people the same thing he taught me. Isn't it crazy how some memories just stick with you for so long? By now, my whole job feels like muscle memory. And so when you offer helpful tips, I do take them into consideration. So for this cake, I wrote on it before I put the rosettes on top. I get comments all the time asking me to do this because it stresses you out that I write in such a small area. But now since I did that, the writing is off-centered. I'm not sure if it's because I did the rosettes after or if it's just because I'm doing it on camera. But I appreciate your guys' helpful comments, but this is why I do things the way that I've always done them. Then we scoop out the ganache and pour it on top of the cake. Sometimes I add a little bit more just to make sure the whole thing's covered. Then you smooth out the excess, let it sit for a second. Then it's time for our chocolate shavings. This one I only did half the cake with chocolate shavings and I did it up the side on an angle. This cake was for someone from TikTok, so I figured they'd appreciate if I did something different for them. Then I only did half of a border on the top as well on the opposite side. They asked for Reese's on top, so I cut them into little triangles and decorated that little border. Then I wrote their name, Happy Birthday Morgan. I hope you enjoyed your cake, Morgan. And if you haven't seen one of the videos yet, the extra ganache goes back in the bucket. Today we have this really interesting combination. It's chocolate ice cream with cookie dough and brownie mixed in, which that part isn't weird, but the strawberries to me just seems a little off. But Nicole is a fan of me here on TikTok, so her friends had me make her birthday cake. Not only is this part interesting, they also had me use yellow cake and then a mid layer of caramel. I'm very curious to see what all of these flavors taste like together, but it is for Nicole's birthday, so she can get whatever she wants to get, and I will gladly make it for her. Then it was time to add some white frosting on top of that and smooth that all out. Once it's all smoothed out, we're gonna add our layer of chocolate shavings on the side. Then it's time to add 6 rosettes and 6 of our duos. Nicole wanted me to write happy birthday in pink for her, so we wrote happy birthday Nicole. I have a really fun order I have to make for you guys tomorrow, but I've made so many friends through TikTok, and tons of them are from around the world. I saw this guy Ricky, who's super talented, a couple months back on my For You page, and I gave him a follow. And just a couple days ago, he released his first song. Ricky's actually Australian, but I wanted to make him a cake to celebrate. Congratulations, Ricky, on your first song. Have you made friends through TikTok from around the world? It's one of the many reasons why I love this app. I honestly think the girl who ordered this stole her parents' credit card to pay for it. The whole time, she sounded like she was talking to me in secret, and she kept having to hang up and then call me back. To be 100% honest, I thought it was a prank, and so when she paid and the card actually went through the second time, I was shocked. I know who you are, so please clear this up if you didn't, but I'm genuinely concerned. I think they honestly just wanted me to make this cake for TikTok. But I hope your friend's okay, and I hope Lucia starts to feel better. I'm still thankful I got to make this cake for you. I have to know, so please let me know, because I might be wrong, but I made that pie video earlier this week talking about getting asked out at work. And I just helped this teenage girl, and when we got to the register, she said, hey, I have to ask you a question. I was mentally prepared for her to ask if I was the guy from TikTok, because that's typically what happens. But no, she asked for my Snap, which I thought was funny because she looks like a teenager. So I asked her